Hello guys, I am Karold and today I am starting a new series called Python with Me. So in this series, we are gonna learn and discover Python starting from the basics. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and of course, like my Facebook page at facebook.com/coloredproductions.
Okay guys, welcome back to the part 6 of Python with Me. So today we will be focusing on loops, break, continue, while, and list. So we will be having a total of 5 parts for this experiment or video. So let us now proceed to the part 1 of our experiment, which will be focusing on loop. The scenario will be shown in the screen. So our task is very simple here. Write a program that uses a for loop to count Mississippi to 5. Having counted to 5, the program should print to the screen the final message, ready or not, here I come. So there's also the expected output and the I'll be following this. So let us now proceed in coding. So I'm gonna proceed with import time, and then I'm gonna put for I in range, and then it said that we need to put this. I'm just gonna put 1 6. Then of course don't forget the colon when using for, and then print I, which is that one, and then just put Mississippi. Okay, so we must put the correct spelling there. So time I mean this one sleep 1, and then again let's try to put print ready or not, here I come. Okay, let's try to run this code. Okay, invalid syntax. Why? Time that sleep. I think I forgot to put that here. All right. So 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, and 5 Mississippi, and of course, ready or not, here I come. So that's it. So for my observations in this code, like what error that I have encountered an error here because I forgot the dot here. I just put a space. So that's one thing that we need to remember. And then of course the spelling, of course the range, and that's it. That's the things that we must remember in coding for this part. Okay, so let us now proceed for the part 2. Okay, so for the part 2, we will be focusing on break, where we'll be familiarized with using the break statement in loops and reflecting real-life situations in computer code. So our scenario is the break statement is used to exit or terminate a loop. Design a program that uses a while loop and continuously asks the user to enter a word unless the user enters the word secret as the secret exit word, in which case the message "you've successfully left the loop" should be printed onto the screen and the loop should terminate. Okay, so this is actually a basic one because it's just like a simple code that we'll be using a break on the last part. So okay, let us now proceeding in coding the part 2. It's actually basic, so let's just put a secret word as a variable here. I mean that one, and then it must be equal to secret. I'll be putting it as a in all caps. So while true, secret word. So we're gonna input a word here. So but first I'm gonna put in the first line that you are stuck in an infinite loop. So for the second line, using the n here, or the \n for the second line, enter a secret word to leave the loop. So I'm gonna put a colon here, so the user knows that he or she will put a word here. So parenthesis, and then if secret word is equal, I'm gonna put double equal, so it will be true. Secret, so it means if this is equal to secret, then don't forget this one, okay? The colons. Then print you've successfully left the loop. Okay, this is a typo here. Oh, okay, that's it. Is there another? And then just put break. That's the purpose of the break here. Okay, let's try to run it. Okay, as you can see, there's a space here because I just put a space here, so we can fix that later. So enter secret word to leave the loop. So let's try putting a different word. For example, my name, Karold. You're stuck in the loop. So there's still a loop that enables me to write another word. So let's try putting the secret word here, which is secret in all caps. So you successfully left the loop. So to remove the space that we did a while ago, just remove that. And then, okay. Why did it happen? Oh, here. I mean here. Okay. Okay, so that's it. So for my observations, we must just remember that we must not forget to put the parentheses, the colons, and of course the most important one is the break. So let us now proceed to the part 3 of our experiment, which is using the continue statement in loops. So the scenario is the continue statement is used to skip the current block and move ahead to the next iteration without executing the statements inside the loop. It can be used with both the while and for loops. Your task is very special. You must design a val iter, write a program that uses a for loop, the concept conditional execution, and continue statement. Okay. Our program must ask the user to enter a word. We'll be using a variable here, using the user word equals user word dot upper, and then we'll use conditional execution and the continue statement to eat the following vowels A, I, O, U. Okay. Print the uneaten letters to the screen, each one of them on a separate line. Okay. So let us now proceed in coding it. So we're already on part 3. Okay, so it said it that we must use user word equals string input enter your word. Okay, again, user word equals user word upper. Okay, for letter in user word, then we're gonna use if here. If letter is equal to A, then continue. Do not forget this one, the colon. Continue. I'm just gonna copy paste this one. This one, because I'm just gonna write A for E, I, O, U. Okay, just gonna replace this E, I, O, U. Then I think just put here print letter. So this is just really basic code. So let us try running this one. So there's also a test data that's given to us. So let's try putting Gregor here as a word. So the expected output must be GRGRY. So in short, there must be no vowels. So okay, enter GRGRY. So there are no vowels included. So let's try the second word. Okay, B, S, T, M, S. There are no vowels, and that's it. So my observations in this part is that you must also not forget for using the string, the input, because we cannot input a word without the input code, and of course the continue. It's very important, and the colons. I think that's basic parts of this coding that we must remember. Okay, so let us now proceed to the part 4. Okay, so let us now proceed to the part 4 of our experiment, and today we'll be focusing on the while loop and finding the proper implementation of verbally defined rules. So the scenario will be presented to the screen, and our task is to write a program which reads the number of blocks the builders have and outputs the height of the pyramid that can be built using these blocks. So note that the height is measured by the number of fully completed layers. If the builders don't have a sufficient number of blocks and cannot complete the next layer, they finish their work immediately. So we'll be having a test data that we can use for the coding. So let us try to code it right now. So they have given us the sample, which is this one. Input an integer, then enter the number of blocks. That's it. Then the next one is that we'll be having the conversion of the total blocks into the height of the pyramid that can be made from the blocks. Okay, so let's try to put the variables, which is the counter, the height. Okay, height 0, and then the total blocks. The blocks must be 0 as well. And then let's try to put while total blocks, sorry for the typo, and then put just blocks. So this will be today I'm gonna put this will be the formula in converting the total blocks to the height. So total blocks plus counter plus 1, then the counter will be plus equal to 1, and then the height will be plus 1. Okay, so basically this part is the conversion of the total blocks to the height. So for the last part, we will be having the result, which will be print the height of the pyramid, and then let's insert the height. Okay, is that correct already? Have we missed columns? So again, this will be the result, the height of the pyramid is, and then the result of the height. Okay, so let's try to run this one. Let's try to use the data that is included. So let's try 6 must be 3. Okay, then let's try another one. Then let's try 20. The expected output must be 5, so it's correct. And then let's try another one. 1000 must be 44. Okay, and then it's correct. So my observations for this one is that we must not forget the colons, the spaces, and the typos. We must avoid typos, I mean, because for example, if I put a space in here, you might get an error. For example, let's try to put 6, and of course, look what happened. And so that's what I'm telling you. So let's try another one. If we remove the spaces here, and then 6, then that's 3. So that's it for the part 4, and now we can proceed already to the final part of the experiment, which is the lists. So for the final part, or the lists, we'll be using instructions related to list and create and modify lists. So the scenario is, there once was a hat. The hat contained no rabbit, but a list of 5 numbers: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Your task is to write a line of code that prompts the user to replace the middle number in the list with an integer number entered by the user. Step 1, and write a line of code that removes the last element from the list. That is step 2. And the step 3 is, write a line of code that prints the length of the existing list. So let's try this one. So they have already given us the sample here, so we can start already. So the hat list will be equal to 1 space 2 3 4 and 5. I think that's it. This is an existing list of numbers hidden in the hat. So this is the numbers in the hat. So the step 1 is to write a line of code that prompts the user. Okay, so we'll be having hat list here. It's also said it to replace the middle number with an integer number entered by the user. So let's just use 2 here, then integer and input, enter an integer to replace the middle number. Basically, the user will be inputting a number here. Oh, we forgot to put. And that's it. Then for the second line is to write a line of code here that removes the last element from the list. So there's a code that automatically removes the number 5 here. So it will be hat list dot pop, and then this one. Or we can also use remove 5 like that, but we will be using pop. Okay, and then for the last step is to write a line of code here that prints the length of the existing list. So for the length, be using print, and then the length. This will be the length. Then hat list. Then this will be this one, the length of it. And for example, we have a 4 numbers, then the length of it will be 4. For example, and then we'll be printing the hat list, which will be this one. Okay, let's try to run this one. Okay, enter an integer to replace the middle number. So let's try putting 4. Okay, so the middle number a while ago is 3, so it replaced the 3 as 4, and then the last number is removed because of the hat list that pop. Then there are 4 total numbers, and the numbers are 1, 2, 4, and 4. Let's try another one. So I'm gonna put 7. Then this must be 1, 2, 7, 4, and the total number is 4. Okay, let's try to enter. Then 1, 2, 7, 4, and the total number 4 is 4. So that's it. So for my observations here is that we must also not forget the parentheses, and of course the length, and of course the list. And using using this one instead of parentheses is needed too. So that's it for the part 5, and see you again for the part 7, because this is the part 6 of the video. So goodbye.